Well, hello, Anna. Welcome to the Carly Adair podcast.
Hi, how are you? It's so nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for doing this. Where are you right now? Are you on the East Coast?
Yeah, I'm in New York City, in my apartment in Bed-Stuy. Also, I look crazy right now because I'm prepping my face for a shoot. I'm shooting like pictures for my birthday today, and my friend is coming, and she's gonna be here in like an hour. So I'm like,
When is your birthday?
September 4th.
Okay, mine's September 1st.
Oh my God, love Virgo season, baby. I look forward to it every single year.
Yeah. How old will you be?
24.
Oh, I love that. That's so exciting.
Yeah. I throw like a big party every year. I'm like, they're not, I eventually I want to do like venues and stuff, but we just do like rooftop parties and they're like themed. And it's just like, I love it. It's like my favorite part of the year. It's my favorite thing. Throwing parties, the playlist, the costumes. I'm just like so pumped. I'm like a very theatrical person. I feel like I would say.
I love that. Did you ever do like musical theater or anything growing up?
No, I don't know why. I always thought it was fucking lame, but I was really obsessed with being like normal in high school. Like I wanted to just be normal and popular and skinny, and that's like really what like drove me during my like high school years. And then like so I just wanted to like do all the normal shit. I didn't make anything. I wasn't like creative. I didn't do anything creative in high school. It was very weird. And then my senior year of high school, like when we were figuring out where we want to go to college, is when I started to like, I had a moment where I was like, Mom, I want to go to art school and I want to go to art school in New York City. And she was like, what? I had no portfolio. I mean, like actually they weren't surprised. Actually, I take it back. They were like kind of waiting for me to figure that out on my own. And then literally within the span of like 2 months, I like ended up like getting into art school. And that's kind of the beginning of it, I guess.
That's amazing. Did you ever take pictures as a kid or were you into photography at all?
Yeah, photography was the first thing I really ever did creatively. Like I stole our family camera and just started shooting on that. It was a Nikon, I believe. And I taught myself Photoshop. My mom sent me to like photography camp to like learn. I like bootleg Photoshop, almost broke like our family's computer because so like when I inevitably got back into photography like 8 years later, I like already had a foundation of like how to work the programs and how to work a camera. I just hadn't shot in a while, but I wasn't going in blind when I took it seriously like a year and a half ago. But yeah, photo was my first thing.
I love that. So like going to Parsons, did that give you more of a outlook on like other creative outlets, like other than photography?
Yes, I didn't study photography at Parsons.
Okay.
I studied product design, so I built like furniture and shit, and a lot of like design. I had design training, which I think is honestly like what has served me the most from that program. If I studied photography, I wouldn't be doing it right now. Like I couldn't wait to get. I'm not a school person. Like I don't like school. Like I did well because I didn't have to try very hard to do well. And I always like got away with shit, but like I don't like school. I don't like being told what to do, and like I was so done with it by the end of it. Like I was like I can't. I was so angry at the program. Like product design is very white, very male driven. It was just like it was so boring. But I was lucky because I kind of got to do whatever I wanted for thesis, in part because of the pandemic, but also because I just like was really adamant about doing like a photo related project. But yeah, my biggest advice to everybody is like, I don't know, don't study the thing that you're passionate, like that you're really obsessed with, because it will ruin it. Like will totally ruin your love for it.
Interesting. So what is like your main gig right now? Like what are you freelancing? Are you doing like, is it your own business? Like what would you describe like your main like job description right now?
I mean, like I am a freelance, self-employed photographer. I think that's what it is. I have my own LLC. I don't have a business account yet. I'm still dependent with my parents. Like I still, with tax wise, like I'm still figuring out how to actually have, because it happened very quickly and I wasn't expecting it. And it happened like right out of college. So it's taking me some time to like build up a foundation. But yeah, I'm self-employed
I
and
love that.
full time, which I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I wish I had another revenue, another stream of income, because I don't know, it gets stressful and also it takes the fun out of shooting and like editing when it's like, am I gonna, you know, but it's the best of money, you know what I mean?
Do you feel like pressured to like take on certain jobs? Like,
yes.
Really?
Yes.
So like, what would you tell somebody? Because I'm kind of in the same boat. Like right now I'm freelancing. I don't really do photography, but more like graphic design and like strategic communications, like digital strategy, social media, that sort of stuff. And I found myself saying yes to a lot of people that I wouldn't necessarily say yes to like pay my rent. I mean, like I live in LA, so it's like, it's kind of like similar to New York in like that realm. I don't know, like how would you describe like that process of like how to say yes and no to certain people?
I like am still figuring it out. Like I don't have an answer, mostly because like I'm also still trying to define that for myself. Like I definitely say I don't like outwardly say no to things. I just kind of I ignore the email or ignore the DM for like projects that either I don't know. Also, like I wish I was more attentive to things. I can't help but wonder if there was like opportunities that I missed. So I just didn't feel like responding, which I'm sure has happened. I'm like really terrible at answering like texts and emails and DMs and stuff unless they're like really huge. But I think like I don't know. I don't think I have it. It's hard right now because I always panicked about money. Always. Like and like I'm at a point right now where I'm kind of wondering, like, is it worth it to be doing this full time? Like, is the stress of it worth it? Like, should I get a part-time job or should I like find something else that will just like pay for like grocery, I don't know, random shit, like so that I can like supplement this. I'm not like literally relying on these like artists and their labels to pay me on time so that I can pay my rent and like live. It's like stressful, and I'm really lucky that I have like enough work to be in this situation, but I don't know if right now I don't know if the stress is worth it. If that makes sense.
No, that's a big thing. It makes so much sense. And like thank you for being honest about that, because I feel like it is hard to like talk about like the business side of things as like somebody who's creative and like the reality of like what it's like. And well, what would be like your big goal? Like what's like your dream that you're working towards, like is influencing your decisions now?
It's funny because like I was actually thinking about this last night. It's an interesting time for me to be talking about my career because right now I'm definitely in like a little bit of a rut is like a weird way to put it. It's more of just like I'm trying to like take inventory of like what I have going on right now and see like how I want to move forward. Because if you would ask me that, and the answer is probably still the same, but if you would ask me that like 2 months ago, I'd be like, I want to be like Billie Eilish's creative director. I want to shoot Post Malone. Like, I want to be like an Amber Asali in a sense, or like a Petra.
I love her.
Yeah, like I want to direct music videos. I want to do like all these. I want to create like that's just like I more so see photography as like a means to an end. But right now I'm kind of in a moment of feeling like I'm not like good enough to be a creative director, or like not creative enough to be a creative director, and I don't know anything about music videos or like video, so I'm like, can I even do those things? I think I'm having like a big imposter syndrome, self-doubt like moment right now, mostly because I just don't like the work that I don't like my work right now. And it's not like it's not like, oh, I hate it. It's more just like I feel like I'm not putting in enough effort to make it what I know that it could be, you know? And I think a lot of that comes back to saying yes things to get paid, you know? Like, because then I'm taking on projects that aren't fun, taking on projects of people who maybe don't see eye to eye creatively, so it kind of just becomes very like mundane and repetitive, like my editing process, and like the editing process is like my favorite part. I've kind of lost touch with that right now, so I don't know. I'd rather be honest about it than like sit here and lie.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, just from an outsider, I found your account because my youngest brother is a huge fan of Solly Had. And he
Oh my
like
God.
posted a picture
Oh
of
my
your work.
God. This
And I was
fucking
like
man.
obsessed because from the outside, like it looks like I was comparing you to like Amber Solly. Like I was like I literally love her. Like, and she's so like my age, and like I love her work and like just the way you edit. And I think I saw like your TikTok of like the scanning process and just that whole like it's original. And like even if it was like inspired by something else, or you may not feel like it's the most groundbreaking thing right now, like to a lot of people, like it is like extremely unique and innovative and
Right.
amazing. So yeah, like that's awesome that you're keeping it up like through this like process, and you're not like giving up, and you're like still doing it and like processing it through. But like what do you do when you get in these like kind of like, do you assess like where you're at? Like, how do you kind of navigate like that
I
imposter
like
syndrome?
full force, like steamroll through it. Like
Yeah.
I am very hard on myself. I'm very competitive with myself and others. Also, that the fact that you found me through Solely Had is so fucking funny.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
the way I found him was funny. I'll tell you the story. It's actually like just a giant troll. Do you know who Audrey Mika is?
Yes. They
She
went on
went,
tour together.
yeah, they went on tour, and I'm from South Carolina. And it was like in Charlotte, North Carolina, and there was like 10 people there, but me and my brother like went, and he was
Oh my God.
opening. And we were like, who is this kid? Like we never heard of him before, but we were like, who is this kid? Like who's just like coming out here. He was great. Like he was awesome. And like we've been such fans ever since. Like we like follow him closely. My brother does music too, so he like takes inspiration from him. It's just funny. We love
He's like one of my one of my best friends. So I'll be sure to tell him that. What
do
was I
you
saying?
how do you navigate imposter syndrome?
I don't. I steamroll through it. Like I said, I'm very competitive. And I think what you said about how like to most people it's groundbreaking,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I know that, but
Mm-hmm.
then I look at like Miss Gundy and other photographers that I like who are work is like to me like top tier. I'm like my stuff compared to theirs is just not on the same level. And it's like I want to be at like, the top. And I think right now I'm having a moment of like, am I even good enough to get to the top? But then again, the top is all an illusion. Like it's all
Mm-hmm.
fake. And also like you said, I think a lot of people probably see my work and assume all that I already am there,
Yeah.
which is weird. Because I'm definitely not. But like, I mean, I think more so when I see the jobs that like Miss Gundy is getting, like he just shoots everyone that I want to shoot, you know what I mean? Or like just that world. I don't know. And then there's just a lot of the comparison that happens, which like is so bad. Like I think I'm trying to move away from comparing myself to people in like personality wise, looks wise, but now it's like a whole other thing of like comparing your work to somebody
Yeah.
else's, which is like a whole new fucking stressor, which I hadn't really anticipated, because for a while it really motivated me and helped me figure out my style, but now it's kind of like it's just not helping the
Mm-hmm.
situation, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it got you to this point, and now you're like, I want to like do my own thing without comparing myself to anybody.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
also just like I don't know, I'm gonna wash out, actually I'm not doing my makeup, but yeah, now it's like a matter of I don't know. This is what I'm saying though. I have to like literally redefine how I view my career right now. Like
Yeah.
I was so go for a while, and I still can be that, but I don't think the work is even like I don't know. I just feel like I need to like regroup and evolve, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think like that's like I almost feel that universally right now. Like I feel like a lot of people like maybe it had to do with like this like fake getting out of COVID, and like we live in big cities, so maybe it's something like that. Like I feel like I've just been in COVID forever. But like this like weird limbo stage of just like career in general, which is kind of what I wanted to like take with this podcast, like redefining what like it looks like to be like somebody who is like making it or professional or like a girl boss or whatever. Because honestly, I grew up like thinking like I was gonna work for like Teen Vogue or something. Like it was my dream come true to
Same.
work. Yeah, and that, like now I'm like I do not want a full-time job. I would rather like die than like
No.
work for somebody else. And so I'm just like I can't believe that. Like if I told my like 12th grade self that they would throw up. Like they'd be like, what? You're like a nothing. Like, why would you not want to work for a big company? But like you're saying, you're getting contracted to work or whatever, how it works for these like amazing people. Would you say that you surround yourself by a creative friend group, or like what does that look like for you?
Literally, I have one friend who like says they're not creative and they totally are. Like,
Yeah.
I literally am in fucking Bushwick. Like, it's everyone here is like on one fucking level, like about their work or someone else's work or what's cool, or like being cool in Bushwick is like the like trophy. Like it literally, I'm not Bushwick cool. Like not even like but then I go home and it's like I'm the coolest person. Like it's like such a different gauge, like a little bubble almost, which like I realized recently, and like that was a wake up call. But like literally all my friends are in creative industries or like pursuing something. Like none of my friends like have a full-time job. I think one of them does. Or like, and then other ones have internships that like are kind of like full-time jobs, but everyone is just kind of doing other things, like whether it's making music or like styling or I don't even know. A lot of them are also pretty young. I'm 24 and my sister is, how old are you? 21, I think. We live together.
Oh yeah.
And like a lot of our friends are still like seniors in college or something. And I have friends who are like 26, 28, and I have friends who are like 21. Like it's like, it's so crazy, like the ages. So like everyone is kind of just on like a different wave right now. But yeah, I surround myself with creative people for sure, by accident, also just because of where I live.
What would you tell the person who doesn't think they're creative?
I mean, like I tell them all the time, like, you think you're gonna work for Deloitte in a year, like you're literally not. Like you're not taking that full-time offer. Like I tell him all the time, I'm like, or like he probably will, but I think I'm like, you're not gonna stay there for long. Like you're gonna be a creative director. Like I know you. Like you're an insane person. But I get it. Like it's so funny, like bullying somebody out of like them wanting a normal life and a normal job. I'm like, don't be a fucking lame ass. Like what the fuck? You know what I mean? But he like wants that security, which I get, but it won't last for long. It really won't. He's so talented at like creative direction that like the universe is gonna push him in a different direction.
Oh, I love that. Well, that's what I'm saying is like, even like what we thought was secure with like the whole full-time career, like I'm not against it. Like if Netflix offered me a job, I'd probably take it. But like the thing is like, I'm not against like that, but it's not as secure, especially through like the pandemic and all these like economic things and like the history of the world. Like those aren't secure either. So it's like nothing's secure. So you may as well do what you want. Like you could die tomorrow. You may as well like do what you have with this time on the earth to like be creative and express yourself.
Yeah. And like obviously there's like a huge level of like privilege involved in that, like being able to do that. Most people can't. I'm very lucky. I have parents who are super supportive, have been the whole time, whether it was like helping out with rent for a month or just like they literally just recently hired me lawyers. I didn't ask them to, they just did it. They want to like protect me, and I'm so grateful for that. And I also am never gonna lie to anybody and say that I didn't have that help, because I did. I'd rather be fucking transparent with people. Like I'm really lucky with the parents that I have and the life that I have and the family that I was born into. Like I don't take that for granted, like ever.
Amazing.
I think that's like important to like say as well. Like, I mean, obviously I don't have like industry connections. My parents don't do anything creative, or my dad is creative but doesn't do things creative. Their connections are not in this world. So it's a different kind of help. You know what I mean? But it still is like, it makes all the difference to know that like if at the end of the day, it's not live or die. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's really, really nice. And it is a blessing.
Yeah.
If you're shooting with somebody and you're creative directing, like is it a day? Like, can you take me through like a process, like a day in the life of you like on set?
I literally wish that this is what I'm saying. Like, I wish that I spent more time into like planning, because a lot of the times, like, I don't put any thought into anything, or I do, and it's very minimal. Like, I wish I could be like, yeah, so I plan out all this. Like, I really don't. Like, I basically, like, I have the person send me a mood board. Okay. I have them send me photos of my stuff that they like, so that I kind of know what I'm getting myself into. And then I figure out if it's like indoor, outdoor. and then I go to like what equipment I'll need, and then we shoot, and then I just start editing, and then whatever happens. And I wish there was a little more control in the like planning of like props or whatever, and like more like high concept. Like I'm a terrible planner, like literally horrible. My whole life is like me just getting by because I can make things work super last minute. Like I'm super adaptable, which is like a superpower, but I need to be better at planning. That's pretty much like how the process goes, you know. I mean, I do some thinking, but ultimately I honestly almost always feel like, and this is true, but like a lot of the final product reveals itself like towards the end. Like as I'm editing, like catching a vibe of like the photo or whatever, like, but I do think that if, you know, a lot of that does depend on, you know, like the setting, I think. But then now I'm like, do I just start editing more? Because I used to do like these really crazy edits and I moved away from that. And now I like want to start get into it again. And I'm like, then the background doesn't even fucking matter. So it's like lots of moving parts. There's lots of moving parts.
Yeah. How long does it usually take you to edit like a day?
I mean, like if I'm going to edit a full project, if I'm going to sit down and edit a full project, 2 days.
Okay.
Like between like getting like doing the and that's just now, and I want to make it even more detailed, which is going to make it like, I'm not kidding, like start to finish 2 days for one project. And but then like but by the time we shoot, the time somebody gets their edits could literally be like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense that like, yeah. Do you take on like a lot of clients at one time, or
Yeah.
Okay.
They also just build up. Like I'm okay. I mean, I'm not okay, but there have been worse moments, like with way more projects to get to. But I think also what's good is that like just being able to say like, hey, you're only like you're paying this, you can only get X amount of photos back. Like that's been super helpful. Like you just pay for more if you want more. But also the way that I just naturally edit is that you get a lot back, because I put a lot. I don't know. It's just what happens. I try a lot of different things, so you just end up with a lot, which just takes a lot of time.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I love that. That's like really unique. I just think it's unique because I haven't met anybody. I'm from South Carolina, and like a lot of people, you know, like let's imagine there's photographers in South Carolina. Their process is just so different. Like it's just like,
oh my god,
in a sunflower field.
I like wish I had a fucking like preset that I could slap on things. I literally wish. It would make life so much fucking easier. But I love when people comment like what's your preset? What? I'm like, I literally wish I could send you a preset. If anything, I'd have to send you like a fucking fully formed Photoshop document with all the layers. You know what I mean? And that wouldn't even work. It's crazy. Like it's just crazy. But that's what I think separates like the good from the bad, you know? I mean, those things are relative, but I think that attention to detail and that willingness to go that extra mile, I think is super important.
You know? I love that. I love that so much. I love your work and I love your story. What do you think like keeps you like grounded? Do you have like a morning routine? Is it your friends? It's
my sister. She literally will not let me go anywhere. She literally, that bitch, oh my god, reads me to fucking filth. Like she won't let me get away with anything. Like people gas me up a lot, like when I go out, whatever, and she's always one to like roll her eyes and like, you're fucking joking, right? Like get over yourself. And honestly, it's really helpful. I think a lot of my friends too are the same way. It's not even about like ego. I think more so I just like spiral out of control a lot of the time, whether it's like positive or good. Like I feel things in extremes, and I have a few friends that really are like great to go and talk to during those moments, you know. I wish I had more of a morning routine. I keep saying like, oh my god, like I have to get back to my morning routine. I haven't had a morning routine in fucking forever. Like I guess because life is always happening. Like I'm either in LA or I'm home or I'm on vacation and my sister's moving in, and then someone else is staying with us, and then like blah, blah, and then like my birthday's it's just, there's all these things that I just need to like, and that's what I'm saying. Like I need to just like chill the fuck out and be like, okay, all these things can be happening because life is going to keep happening. And you can like keep yourself sane. Do you know what I mean? Like the treadmill is not a fun place to be.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like you have to, like, that's the same trait of adapting. Like, it's like that's if you can respond to different things of your life and like adapt to those things, it's so much better than just like being stuck in like the same headspace, the same cycle. The last thing I want to talk about with you is like whenever I looked at your social media, like I was just like, this girl's like fun. Like she's like funny. Like she like knows what she's doing. Like
that literally makes me feel so good because I forget that I have fucking 30,000 followers and I just post. My stories are so long. Like I just like post all day long. And it's like stupid shit posting. Like my close friends is even worse. Like,
oh yeah.
Sometimes I like it's like actually so bad. I'm like, and then I look and I'm like, oh my God, 2,000 people clicked through this shit today. And I'm like, for what? Like literally for what?
Because it's like nobody's fun anymore. That's like the problem. Like nobody like
I feel that so, especially in LA. A lot of these people, they don't post anything. Like they'll post their funny shit on their close friends. And I'm like, why wouldn't you put that on your, there's no reason. Like what I call like the aesthetic prison, people who are like fucking obsessed with like everything looking great and being great. I'm like, you are literally like boring as fuck. Even if you're not, you're like, you present boring as fuck. Your whole life can't be a fucking like Pinterest board. Do you know what I mean?
I could not know more what you mean. That's like my biggest struggle though, is like I'm sitting here like I often like stop myself from posting things because I know the people who are in that so-called prison love that, but they're like thinking of not even like of me, but just like of the general concept of social media, like in such like a exact way. Like I remember when like there was like those comic grids and like 20, like when Instagram first came out and like you like do like a meme grid or just like post like random stuff. Like I remember I used to love doing that stuff and I was like such a troll. And now like I won't post anything for months because I'm so like I just like I don't want to have to deal with that like whole side. But people who are out there, like I mean like you, like I think I was inspired by you because I admired your work in like the same way I admired your personality. So I think like there's like this almost narrative right now that like you can't be both, or at least that's what I'm like believing in my head, is like it's hard to be like super fun and also taken seriously like with your work. So like what do you have any like advice or like what would you have to say about like somebody who is like scared to just like be who they are with both ways?
I think for me, and my parents know this, and it's really irritated them about me probably my whole life. Professionalism to me is like such bullshit, such a waste of time. Like, why the fuck would you ever like try to act as like change, like not be yourself, not bring your actual life into like the workspace? Like, I don't understand that. I think it's so fucking lame. And again, that's like privilege, whatever. Like, I don't have to have a real job or whatever the fuck. But like, and I get there's a difference between like professionalism and like being like appropriate. Like, obviously you act appropriately, but like, why can't shit be fun? Like, and it's not even like I do it on purpose. There's something in me that just has that it just is this way, and I actually find it really irritating. And I think my friends do too. That my like constant need to like post shit. Like, I don't even. But I grew up on the internet, like we all did. Like, I literally had like 8 different Twitter accounts. I was a Tumblr person. Like the second, I've just been like posting my life since I was like like really young. So like no one, and now there's like a little bit of an audience, which is cool, I guess. But like I'm not even posting like content that they're here for. I'm just posting random shit. Do you know what I mean? Like they don't come from my stories. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, so I guess like nobody's watching you. Like as much as you think everybody's watching you, nobody's fucking watching you. And they only like, it's like, I don't know. And like also it's like people are always gonna have shit to say about you. Like when I was like working really hard to like blow up my work on TikTok, all my friends had me muted on Instagram because I was insufferable to them. And they found me so annoying. But it was me building up a fucking, it worked. Like it worked. I went from fucking 800 followers to fucking 14K. Like it literally worked. And it's something that I had to do. But like my close friends were like, you're so annoying. And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
But it worked, and like
Doesn't
you were doing
matter. It
it
just
for your
doesn't matter.
own. That's the thing. Like, it's really not that deep. Like, that's what I'm trying to like
No,
think
it's
about my own
really
head.
not
Like,
that deep.
it
It's
really
really
doesn't
not that deep.
matter. And this, I agree with you completely. Is like, as long as you're like being genuine, I would much rather work with people who are straight up and genuine than people who are bullshitting me through like a professional like manner. Because I don't know, like even in interviews, like if I can't like, if I have to like button up for an interview, and like there's a difference between like presenting yourself in like a clean way rather than like just like not. But if you can't like be who you are, and like your work should speak for itself. Like that's what I'm saying. If I'm doing good work, like it should speak for itself.
That is literally what I told my parents. I was like, I'm never gonna have to apply for a job. I hate doing it. I'm never gonna write a cover letter. I'm never gonna interview again. And like my dad says, like, you don't know, you can't predict the future. And I'm like, I'm just gonna assume law of assumption that I never have to do that, and then I literally will never have to do that. Like that's how that works. Like,
love it.
Like I'm just never gonna do it because I can't do it, and I've never been able to hold a real job for that long. Like I've gotten fired from like all my jobs. Like I'm not kidding. I have like raging ADHD. I'm like I don't care a lot of the time about like my surroundings, where I am. Like if I'm like uncomfortable, I'm gonna fix it because it's my fucking life. Like I literally am just like that, and it drives my sister fucking nuts. Like drives her up a fucking wall. Like she's like a Libra, very like balanced, and I just like don't give a shit. Like I don't care. And like sometimes I should care more, but like genuinely, it's my life. Do you know what I mean? Like it's my life. Why would I be unhappy?
Yeah, like you have to do what like your inside is telling you to do. Like you can't like live your life to like live up to a certain image or like professional standard or whatever it is. You have to do what like you see as like in your imagination is like fit.
Exactly. And also like if you fuck, you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna do things that are embarrassing. Just forgive yourself and move on.
Yeah,
like I've literally done crazy shit that I'm like, oh my God, why the fuck did I do that? And then I'm just like, why am I getting upset about it? You did it because you wanted to. And the only thing that you can do is just be like, it's okay. You won't do it again. And then move on with your life.
Yeah.
Point of sitting. You know what I mean? Like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, like I agree. Like nobody, like I feel like people forgive you way easier than like you forgive yourself.
Oh my God, nobody also cares because everybody is so like fucking self-obsessed. Like nobody cares. Do you know what I mean? Like I am honest. It's funny because like I'm not chill, but I'm also very chill in the sense that it's like I don't really care what you do or say to me if I really like we're good. Do you know what I mean? Like if you apologize or whatever, like I'm just like I get it. It's fine. Because like I feel like I fuck up so much that I'm just like, why the hell would I get mad at anybody else?
You know what I mean? I feel like that's like emotional intelligence. Like that's like how you know like you're like operating in a good way.
It's funny because like my reactions to things are separate. Like I can react really aggressively, but then later on I'm like I'm not a grudge holder. I'm like way too lazy to hold grudges. Like I don't think I've ever really held a grudge.
That's good. That's great.
I don't think I'm like possible. I don't think I can do it. I just don't care enough.
Yeah. I feel like that's the way to go. That's the way to live your life because I don't know, like that this seems really wise, but
I feel like we didn't talk about any of my photography shit. That's what I was saying last night. Like I'm just in such a weird spot with my career that like I could sit here and give the spiel I always give, but it just doesn't feel genuine right now.
No, honestly, this is more beneficial than that would have been. A lot of my audience is like people who like not lack creativity. That sounds kind of harsh, but like who like are looking to be like inspired or like are in college, like still like growing and figuring things out. What is there anything you want to promote or like any like where can they find you online? Like how do you want to like pitch yourself?
I mean, my Instagram is my name, Anna Koblish. That's really it. Instagram. My TikTok is Anastasia Koblinski, but I don't post on it anymore. I like use TikTok to get where I am now, and then I kind of abandoned it. Like I can't. It's funny because everyone's like, TikTok is the new Instagram, and I'm like, fuck, like no, I hate that app. The content creating on that app is like not for me. But Anastasia Koblinski on TikTok, Anna Koblish, ANNAKO, oh my God, BI, whatever, my name. And then on Instagram. That's really it. I have exciting shit coming up. I'm nothing that I can talk that I can say. A lot of things are still like in very early stages, but I definitely think for me there's going to be a big shift in the work that I start putting out. I think it's going to start looking a lot different. Yeah, I think I want to rearrange some things. Also, like, I don't know, I'm always checking my DMs and my DM requests, like answering, I don't know, random shit people ask me. Like, I try to get to all of it. So any questions about anything, I'm always down to have a conversation, you know? And also always looking for interns.
So, oh, wow. If you're in New
yeah.
York.
Like either in New York or LA, because I'm back and forth. So like kids who want to like help out, be on set or whatever, like I'm always posting about that shit. But yeah, thank you so much. I feel like I didn't talk about anything like that exciting.
No, this is really exciting. This is amazing. Thank you for your time today. Everybody go follow. I apologize. I think I said Anna earlier. It's Anna.
It's fine. I really don't care. Like half people in my life call me Anna, half will call me Anna. I don't even like notice.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time. You literally are such an amazing soul. Like, I just feel like you were here to be genuine, like give it straight up, and like I really, really appreciate it. I think this is a beautiful conversation, and
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I was excited about it. I'm sorry I'm like rushed. The lighting is bad. Whatever. Thank you so much.
No, it's good. Thank you.